prepared.
This is one of our challenges that
fucking go for it, man.
That seems the thing to do. I'm Ashley Hobley, ASHLEY, HOBLEY. It's a thing. I figured, seeing as this is the first live Pleasure Explosion, I thought we'd recap the history of Pleasure Explosion.
Yes.
Of course, we all met at RTX Sydney for Seeing Kinda Funny. I, of course, had never met or talked to any of these guys online. I just happened to walk into a comics book store at the right time in the right shirt.
Wearing the right shirt,
yeah.
Wearing a Kinda Funny shirt.
Crazy random happenstance. And then, a month later, after much discussion, we decided to launch a podcast. Episode 1, talking about RTX, because that seems like a good idea.
Yep.
Now we're
Why
talking
not?
about it again.
We're talking about it again. It seems to come up a lot. Episode 2, we talked about time travel.
Yep.
Also, that was the origin of the phrase "fuck wood chippers." I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
Dylan,
that old chestnut
Also,
we talk about all
the
the time.
phrase of Hitler was necessary.
Yeah.
Episode 3, we talked about sports, and that obviously spawned the podcast Grandstand Gurus. You can find it on explosionnetwork.com. Talk about sports.
He says obviously, it's
Obviously.
not that obvious.
Super obvious.
Episode 4, Dylan revealed that he works at a petrol station. And we talked about jobs. Because that seems to be a thing.
That was, I think that was a seminal episode in our history for Mike. That was the quack quack.
Yeah.
The Mighty Ducks reference. I think that was a point in time where we all we all sort of went, we need to make this more than what it is currently. So
Yeah.
Episode 5, we talked embarrassing stories. And we learnt that Nick is not allowed at any of our weddings. Because he ruins all of them. Don't invite Nick to your wedding. It's a fact.
I like how you know so many. Are you looking at the episodes? I think fuck, because you were remembering way too much about those early episodes.
Episode 6, hypotheticals number 1. Would you prefer to have Hitler's skull or a turtle?
That was the topic.
That was the topic.
the topic.
Hypotheticals was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
That's why there was a 1 and a 2.
Episode number 7, first episode with a guest, NATO J18. You can find her on
NATO!
Twitter. From 4 Yanks, 1 Aussie, A+ Anime.
Boy.
Probably a bunch of other stuff in the works.
You'll know Ado.
We talked about things that blow your mind, and we mistakenly added the 10-point rating scale.
We did. That wasn't a mistake.
That made it more fun.
I gave that episode a 7.3.
Episode 8, we talked about horror and wisely on Easter, and wisely decided to call the episode Zombie Jesus.
Shout out to your boy Jesus Christ for dying for our sins.
All the episodes. This doesn't count as a speech.
Yeah, it does. I'm talking.
It's a retrospective.
I
He's
think
doing a
he's-
Bernie Burns.
I think he's doing quite well.
Yeah. Episode 9, we talked about spoilers because Jack is a terrible person and doesn't like any type of spoilers at all. Is that
Bruce
right?
Willis was dead the whole time.
I don't like spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't like trailers. I don't like things
Conversation.
don't talk about something that I haven't experienced because I'm a bad person.
Episode 10, we talked about neighbours,
Keep hitting
terrible
the
neighbours. I should not do that.
This fucker out the back whose dog was barking before was what we spoke about on that episode.
Also, Holly Valance. Episode
You won't know who that is.
Episode 11, we talked about pet peeves. Jack talked a lot because he has a lot of pet peeves.
I hate a lot of things. What can I say?
Episode 12, hypotheticals number 2. If your significant other was on a desert island with a hot guy, would you ask them whether they fucked that hot guy or not? Were you on that episode?
No, I was not.
Answer the question.
Can you please?
So, if Sal...
No, there was a plane crash.
Yeah.
They died. It's like 6 months.
They didn't die though.
It was a castaway situation.
Yeah,
Sal
castaway,
and his
6
man.
months.
Yeah.
Let me put it to you because I.
Are we being paid by Skittles or?
It should be.
Very prominent.
Give it to me.
It's basically they think they have no way of getting off this island. They're there for 3 months or something, and then they're suddenly rescued. You notice when they come back and do the press conferences, he's quite attractive. Do you or do you not ask whether anything happened romantically, and how long do you wait till you ask? And it's also worth noting that they both pointed out in the press conference how they wouldn't have been able to make it through without that other person there.
It would have been right after Hello. I'm so glad you're alive.
Next question.
Did you fuck him? Was he bigger than me?
Okay,
I can
episode.
actually see that happening.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Episode 13, we talked about drinking stories. I said that I'd only been drunk 3 times. That's changed a lot since I did these guys.
At least double that now.
You've been drunk 3 times this
Today.
week.
Today. Episode 14, we talked about our happiest memories.
If I can go back half a step,
Okay, sorry.
it's called something to do with drinking and taking the piss. Because
Yeah,
he tells a
Jack
story
takes the
about when
piss
he
and
drank his
drinks
own
it.
urine.
Yeah.
I drank. It wasn't my urine. It was someone else's. But
Can I give a
That
quick,
was
doesn't make it
urine.
better. What makes it worse?
can I give a quick shout out to Joel Rennie, who hosted a panel at PAX last week about charity auctions, gave some good advice. He just tweeted that we're hilarious and put out a link
Thanks,
to it.
Oh, thank you.
thank you, Joel.
Thank you, Shredberg, for following as well.
Thank you, Shredberg.
Joel is the founder of Generosity, which
Yeah.
maybe we'll be involved with next year. Who
We
knows?
would love to be involved
Yeah.
with that.
Very cool, guys.
We're putting in work.
All right, keep going.
Episode 14, we talked about our happiest memories.
And I cried.
Yeah, because the Bulldogs finally did it. They finally won that grand final.
That's what that story was about. Yeah.
And you fed an elephant.
I did feed an elephant. That's true.
And I said I didn't have any happy memories.
Until
It was
now.
a different
Until
time.
now.
Yeah.
Time's passed.
Episode 15, I suggested what if the Truman Show was real. Not really that memorable. Next episode.
I missed that one and I'm disappointed
Yeah.
because I think about that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it is just one of those things. Next episode was an extra-sode where these guys were in San Francisco with a bunch of you guys at Kind of Funny Live 3.
Yeah.
Talking about that experience.
We spoke about that. That was good fun.
Don't really care.
Haters gonna hate. Haters
Episode 16, we talked about the Andy Weir story, The Egg, which was the basis of Logic's
Yeah,
that was a
latest
good episode.
album, Everybody. That was a
was
pretty
good
interesting conversation. If you haven't read the story, you should go read it, or you should just listen to Logic's album
like-
because it's awesome.
Yeah, the story's like 100 lines or something silly.
You're
It's,
really
it's really short, but really, really cool.
Yeah, it's good time. It's a good.
Just
that was a
like-
good
It's also
episode.
the
Just like
basis
all-
of that album.
Like
That's what I just said.
Good stuff.
I was gonna say you're not sure.
Episode 17, we talked about school and how Jack was a delinquent. That's
Jack
how I
was.
remember
Yeah,
it.
Jack.
Yeah.
I don't
Word.
think we would have been friends. In
Class clown. That's how I would describe myself.
Episode 18, we talked about how Australians are the best.
Yeah.
Debatable.
Australia.
I tried my best to bring them back down to
counter
earth. Yeah.
I don't think that was the topic really. It was what does it mean to be Australian?
Yeah.
Which is
And what it means to be
What this
Australian
means
is
is
to
we're the
steal
best.
everything
Is that
that's
we're
good
the
from
best?
New Zealand.
Around! Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best.
That's enough.
Rip everyone wearing headphones.
Sorry. Sorry.
Episode 19, we decided to sort each other into Harry Potter houses.
Yeah.
I was on that episode.
Glad-
Yeah, Kieran was on that episode. I think that was your
Yeah.
first one, wasn't
Yeah, that
it?
was my first pleasure.
Yeah.
That was
Important.
and it was his first episode that he was on.
Kieran's our Kevin.
Fair
Important
enough.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alan Rickman, Gryffindor. Fact.
Aaron Rickman,
Next.
not
Rickman.
a person.
Aaron Rickman.
I corrected myself.
Please.
But we mentioned I've been drinking a lot.
Jack hates Harry Potter as well.
And so
I don't hate Harry Potter. I just think the
Oh,
movies
yeah,
are
that's
fucking
important.
terrible, especially the
Sounds
first
like
one.
hate to me.
Sounds like a lot
Sounds
of
like
taste.
who's
hey,
Kevin?
Sure, the books are
Kieran is
great.
Kevin,
I'm
yeah.
the Kevin, pretty much.
Kevin Coelho.
I set this shit up, so yeah. With Dylan.
Episode 20, we talked about our biggest fears, one of which Jack is going to face later.
Want it?
Ooh. Episode 21, we have the awesome Cherie Sharona
Yay.
joining us
Talk about friends.
via Tasmania to talk about friendship and
Yep.
how we all love each other. We're
Word.
so awesome.
Friendship is rare.
Sorry for
Do
your
you
ears,
know
Ali.
what I'm saying?
Oh,
I
sorry,
think
Ali.
that's a Simpsons reference. She's doing a
Sorry,
Ralphie.
Ellie.
She's not listening with headphones.
My hearing ears.
It's okay. She's wearing Audio Technica headphones. She'll be fine.
What's the next episode?
Episode 22, we talked about things we can't believe that are still a thing, like anti-vaxxers and
Flat Earth.
flat earthers. And then the next week, Nazis came out.
And then a week after that, Australian deniers came out.
Yeah, what is up with that?
We are here.
We
people,
exist.
People legit deny Australia
We will
exists.
They're onto us.
We'll confirm right now on
I
stream
saw-
that Australia exists.
I saw a thing the other day
Exists.
that was that Finland doesn't exist is like a conspiracy theory, and
It's on his main
I don't
name.
understand. It started on Reddit in 2015. What more do you need to go, yeah, that's bullshit? Well, that's absolute bullshit. That's not a JFK was assassinated by the government, or there were 2 shooters, or nobody went to the moon. That's like some idiot on the internet literally just made that up.
Yeah, that's Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Reddit.
Okay.
It's got its own Wikipedia page.
Can I just say, Buddy's
Fast
put
and
out.
Furious movie.
Buddy's thrown out a thing he can't still believe is a thing.
Yeah.
People that like Fast and Furious movies.
Fuck you, buddy, you fucking piece of garbage, piece of shit, fucking die in a hole and bury your fucking whole fucking... Everyone you love should be buried with you.
No!
Garbage.
We all... The stance of Explosion Network is we agree with Buddy.
All I can say, buddy, is we hungry. We hungry.
I'm done. Fuck all this.
We hungry. I'm with Dylan, but I'm not moving.
Joe
Like,
refuses.
I'll burn everyone in this fucking house right now.
They can't see you.
Joe doesn't believe that New Zealand is real.
That's
True.
fair enough,
Okay,
fair enough.
guys.
True, yeah, that's fair enough.
Episode 23, we talked about 9/11.
We did.
Yep, that was a thing.
Oh, dang.
Word. That was all.
Don't repeat the thoughts.
No, it was where were you on 9/11?
Yeah.
Where were you on 9/11?
Tinfoil hat
And there may
throughout
have
that
been
day.
and there was a lot of fence sitting by some spineless ones over here.
Episode 24, Fatherhood.
Yeah.
Mainly featuring our own resident dad, Jack Cruz, but also focusing on our own fathers and that sort of thing. Very nice episode.
Our desire or capacity to be fathers in the future.
25, me, Jono, and Tom. We talked about being at university.
Oh, the educated ones.
I got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
Look at me now, Mum! It'd be really awkward if my parents were school.
Can we?
Do they know you've been kicked out?
They know I was kicked out.
Do you
And
know
they know
not
about this
know?
because they donated money.
I was going to say, do they know that you're here for the
They
weekend?
donated $50.
We just go from the. We go
Thanks,
from
Mum and Dad, Blight.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dylan Blight's
Dylan,
mum.
What's your mum's name? I'm
Dad.
sorry, she's a good name.
Mandy.
Mandy.
Mandy, like, it was
It's a
like
great
Andy
name.
Blight.
Mandy Blight.
Mandy
Great
Blight.
name.
It's Marsha.
Carl is your dad?
No, it was like Dean. Dino.
Dean and Mandy.
All right,
What
what's
was the
the
next
next
one?
episode?
Number 26, our top 5 albums. You should definitely listen to that one. That's a good one.
It was also the start of Nick picking a theme for his episodes.
We'll
It's
always
called
be
a
top
topic.
fives.
We won't. Next one's not.
Next one's done. Number 27, me, Dylan, and Jack talked about a bunch of different stories, mainly Nazis in America and
Fuck Nazis.
the
Yeah, fuck
plebiscite
Nazis.
that we're currently having in Australia and how
Fuck
fucked
people
up
that
that
don't
is.
like gay people.
Yeah, fuck people that don't like gay people. I agree with that.
Episode 28, we found out that Jack is haunted.
Jack is on.
And talk
Yeah.
ghost stories.
Sorry,
It's
guys.
not his house, it's him.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I-
Jack
I have-
personally.
We've been here for a day and I
have
haven't seen anything weird.
Poltergeists that follow.
No,
The
the
door.
fucking door.
I told you, it just
Wind.
happens. It just happens.
It was
wind
open,
blew
and
the
then
front
wind
door.
blew
Why
it.
was the front door open?
Because they came in the front door and didn't close it.
Yeah. Somebody that was half pissed coming back from the bottle shop didn't close the door properly, and then the wind did it for us. Oh fuck, it's ghosts. Ghosts don't exist.
or ghosts.
Yeah,
Let's
or
go
ghosts.
with ghosts.
Fine.
He
Ghosts.
said it was exactly the
It
reaction
was
he was going for.
Episode
Fuck you, buddy,
29,
piece of shit.
we casted the Explosion Network movie.
Yeah, that went well.
That
A miscalculation on my part to make that an impromptu.
Does everybody
episode.
remember who they were?
Jack is Paulie D from
Paulie
George
D?
Shore.
I was Benedict
like it.
Wong,
Yep.
Benedict Wong.
Benedict
Yeah.
Wong.
I don't know.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader,
Yeah, that was
Mark Addy.
Mark
Mark
Addy
Addy
from Game of Thrones.
From Flight of
Oh,
Conchords.
from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Brandy
Josh
McKenzie.
Gad. No,
Brandon
you were Corden.
James
Corden.
James
I
Corden.
was
Yep.
Josh Groban for some reason.
Josh Groban.
Groban.
fucking hates it.
Josh
He's not
hated
a
it.
fine
He
pick.
has a beard.
What's wrong
So?
with you?
You can be shaved.
Oh,
Brett McKenzie, that's it.
That's
Red,
it.
red,
Say
yeah.
that, yeah.
this is getting unruly.
All right,
I
episode
needed
30,
Oscar.
we talked hot takes, and we managed to not get banned from YouTube.
Nickelback is a good band.
Fuck off.
Jack Cruz is a good person. Hot take, right here.
Everyone's gonna stop watching when you say that.
And what's
What?
the view count go down?
But Nickelback was a good band.
They are a shit band.
Okay, episode
The hot
31.
take is that they're good.
I
So
think one
31,
person said that.
Tom asked the very important question: would you burn your clone?
I did.
Would you bang your clone?
I did do that.
Yeah. That's a thing that happened, and we talked about
Would
it for
you
the whole
bone
episode.
your clone?
Kieran, would you bone your clone?
Yes.
You weren't on
Yeah,
that
you
episode.
went on that episode.
Jack
Would you
does
bone?
like Nickelback.
Nah, probably
Ali.
not.
Oh, like Nickelback, Ali. I'm sorry.
There were a number of sci-fi sort of themed hypotheticals that led to whether or not you would sleep with your clone if cloning were a thing. And quite
Mostly,
that
I
means-
remember Jack wanting to have a slave version of himself.
Thank you, buddy.
Mostly, I remember thinking, I'm pretty drunk to be
Yeah.
hosting this podcast.
You did well for
Yeah.
what
You
Yeah,
were
you were very well
gone.
prepared.
You
You
were
wouldn't
gone.
know until I
Call
started
that
slurring
ghost
at the
friend.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Episode 32, we talked about our top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah.
Watch that one, or listen to that one, because it's a podcast. It's
You watch it on YouTube.
Watch
also
on
a YouTube
YouTube.
video. Dylan edited some trailers into the video. Very impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, good boy.
None of us knew that.
I
except
picked
Ash.
5 great movies and I didn't watch anything else in it.
Episode 33, we talked about the guys who are in relationships, significant others. Very nice episode.
How did we?
How'd
get
they meet?
girlfriends?
Why are they together?
How? Why is the big
How
question?
to get out of the friend zone?
There's no such thing.
Friend
Actually,
zone isn't real.
we took a picture of it. It is real. We took a
Yeah.
picture.
Was that
It's
Pax?
booth
Was that
number
Pax?
234.
It was at PAX.
What do you mean?
Shout out to
That was
Claire
a
again, who I
There was
assume
an
is
area
still
called the
watching,
friend
but
zone.
Yeah.
fair enough if she's
Yeah,
not
it was
watching
like
anymore
friends
because
like
this
me,
is
and
a
we were
shit show.
Yeah, for people that chill.
It was
All
still
right.
called the friend zone. It does exist.
It existed.
I hate this.
Episode 34, Jack asked, what would you do if you won the lotto?
Yeah, that was.
And
the
it was a
thing
lot of buying houses and investing into the Explosion Network.
Boring shit.
Apparently-
Paper and batch.
Explosion Network's a good place to
But
send
he
money.
says accurately, Tom has seen a total of 8 movies.
That is also a thing that we discovered.
That's aiming high.
Yeah,
That's
it.
on the high end of the scale.
It is on the high end of the scale.
Episode 35, we talked about separating art from the artist. An incredibly
Well-timed
Well-
very
Well-timed
well-timed
episode.
episode. Weinstein,
relevant.
Spacey. We didn't speak about Kevin Spacey. It only just happened, but
Rolf Harris.
Rolf Harris, Kanye West, Eminem,
Well,
even,
Chris
Kanye
Brown.
West hasn't done
Chris
what the other
Brown.
guys
Woody
did.
Allen.
Yeah.
Woody Allen,
Sleeping with his daughter.
The Lost Prophets.
I know he's right, but
I thought you were going to talk about Chris Benoit on that one. He was not an artist, but
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
that's
an
right.
artist.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah,
about that
okay,
one.
performance
We
art.
can't
He
separate
was
that
he was
movie.
a stage actor.
Kiwis, Ali. I don't know. Kiwis, right?
What did I do?
You don't watch movies.
No, I don't watch many
He
movies.
also said, hold on,
It's
in the
the
hot takes
inferior
in the hot
medium.
takes episode, he also said movies is the worst medium for entertainment.
and I don't know why I'm in the same room with him.
I was making it extra hot.
Yeah, it was a hot take.
It was
Roman
hot.
Polanski
And
come
that's
up in
why-
that one. Yep, you're absolutely
That's
right.
why
buddy.
I won the hot takes episode.
Yeah, you did.
You did win that
did.
one.
You did win the
Because
hot
we
take.
thought rating that would be a good idea as well.
Yeah, that was a good idea. I stand by that.
Everything's
And
competition.
episode 36, our last episode, me, Jono, Kieran, and Dylan were at PAX where we saw a bunch of our fellow Australian podcasters. We did a live episode from the Audio Technica booth.
Like Ali, Buddy, and Nato who are in the chat right now.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome meeting
shout out,
them.
guys.
And that was probably the best episode
That
we
was
ever did,
last
right?
week.
Explosion. Yeah.
Paxplosion.
Paxplosion was pretty
Until
good.
now. And
Take it
Tom's
away,
gonna Take
Tom.
it away with this week's episode.
Good speech, Ash.
Yeah.
Start with
Start with ladies and gentlemen,
You
boys
know.
and girls.